Radio V. Radio in TV. Radio in TV.
Hey, welcome to the PO Show here in Hollywood, California at T Radio V. I'm glad you're tuning in. Yay. You're listening. Okay, so this is, as you know, I'm sure, because I know you've been watching every single show, and this is show number 3. So this is all about elevating the creative culture. So we just want to, this is kind of a forum with all these amazing artists that I have on here, having a voice, being able to use their voice, and giving you a place where you can see more of their work and know where they stand as far as the arts go. We have some amazing people here today. We're going to talk about art and film, character design, conceptual art, illustration, animation, visual effects, 3D printing, all that techie, high-techie thing, which is probably where we've been, where we are now, and probably where we're going. It's not going to go away, I don't think. And I think there's some, I've had some great revelations in the last few days researching this, and I'm really feeling kind of positive about possibly the future of the creative culture. Yay! Okay, I have all of these these guest information, but I think I'm going to take the easy route out, and I'm going to say, this is John Mahoney. John Mahoney, what do you do and where are you from?
Okay, keep it easy. Yeah, I'm a visual artist. Let's see, right now I'm teaching at Noman, Cal Arts, and USC, and I'm doing freelance work for Hasbro Toys. And I also teach at Blizzard as well as a sculptor. So I do a lot of my own fine art, filmmaking, basically toys, playing with all kinds of stuff.
So you're just a big kid.
Just a big kid, totally, just a big kid.
Which, you know, as creatives, that's where we want to stay there, right? I mean, it's like the topic came up. You watched the show, last week's show, the
Yes.
political show.
Yes.
Where it was like, oh, get a job, you lazy artist. No, it's not. No, that really came up, and it was
well,
like,
you have to get a job,
yeah,
right?
no. But it's, I think there's a difference between being a child mentality or creatively, I guess you could say, a child's mind, right? Because that's where the imagination, we lose that actually as we get older. If we don't watch it, I mean, we want to keep that. And responsibility, those are two different things, right? I mean,
it's a juggling act. You have
well,
to have
it
both,
definitely
right?
is a juggling act, but it's not like every artist, oh my gosh, are just these little kids that are in this big person body, right? It's not, I mean, there's some of those. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But
Well, I mean, all creative endeavors have to be monetized.
who is
somehow.
this guy?
Who is this guy?
He's not on the platform? Okay. Van Arno was on his way back from Noman, which
Yes.
he was doing his tutorial.
A figure drawing tutorial.
And
an online figure drawing tutorial, which will be available probably in like a month or so.
And we
It's
talked
my
about
second
it.
one.
Yeah. And he was down the street at Noman, which is probably like 4 blocks away.
Mm-hmm.
So he stopped in because he has a vested interest.
I stopped in because I fit in.
That's very true. Okay, what else can you add? We'll come back to you later.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe
we'll
you
continue. We'll continue.
Why don't you introduce this guy?
This is my friend.
Because you
Dawood.
know more about him than I do.
Yeah, we've been friends like over 10 years.
Yeah.
And Dawood originally was one of my students at Noman over 10 years ago. And we just kept in touch ever since. I think we had a like-minded idea of art and everything like that. And I've watched him grow. And now he's this incredible artist, a filmmaker, teacher. And, I'm learning from him now, so it's been great.
And Dawood is actually here doing a documentary on John Mahoney, which is really cool. Documentaries, by the way, I'm crazy about.
Yes.
And unfortunately, there usually is not enough funding for a documentary. I know people that do documentaries are like, oh my God, I have this great idea and this great documentary I want to do, but there's no money. I would prefer documentaries to probably any other type of film, to be honest, besides animation, because I'm an animation freak too. But I think if it's a subject you really want to know about, like John Mahoney, documentaries are amazing. You know, there was which ones have I seen lately? What ones are the most recent documentaries that have been out? We've seen some. I saw one with you. What was that one? That wasn't really a documentary.
No, but it is your favorite genre. I can vouch for that.
No, it is. Okay.
I think I got into filming John Grit in the documentary was because he's just such an incredible artist.
Yeah.
And when I met him at Noman, the way he was teaching was different than most other art teachers that I had ever met. And he kind of
in what way?
He actually took us in more of a fine art direction. We were looking at Egon Schiele, whereas a lot of other instructors will have you looking at artists of today, where he was taking us to the artists of the past.
That's very
and
cool.
that actually accessed something that I had never, really been pushed to do with other art teachers. So yeah.
Very cool. And you guys, you co-taught, right? Did
Yes,
you
we actually co-taught a class.
Yeah, at Noman back in the day. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
That's very cool. Oh my God. Okay, Danny Galieote, what do you got?
Oh, who, me?
No, you guys all have some through lines here, which is kind of interesting. And it
yeah,
wasn't
some similar
really
backgrounds.
on purpose. It was kind of
By
fell
chance.
together.
I mean, I started my career as an animator, a Disney character animator. I worked on since The Lion King, Hunchback Notre Dame, Hercules, Tarzan, Atlantis, Treasure Planet, Home on the Range, Princess and the Frog. Tangled was the last thing I worked on. Back and forth, I was teaching at Art Center in Pasadena. I was teaching classical figure drawing there for several years, and went back to Disney to work on, Frog and Tangled, but I was always doing painting the whole time.
Yeah.
And ever since I was a little kid, I had my room full of oil paints, and I just kept doing it, and I've gotten into fine art.
Okay,
more
and
now,
you're a LA native.
Yeah.
And
Born in
been
Burbank.
working in your studio for over 20 years now. How does
I
that
have.
make you feel?
It feels great. It's a very liberating and
So you started when you were 5? I mean, seriously.
No, like when I was, late teens, I just started working, and I started, doing T-shirts when I was like really, really young, and then I got into school, and then I started doing getting into animation because I was thinking I need to get money, I need to make a job, I need to
And you did
make
it.
things
you made
happen.
It work.
So felt like I got lucky. I went to Florida for 4 months and did the Disney internship, then I came back and worked on the films.
I am dying to ask you this question.
Mhm.
So Danny recently went more into fine art.
Yeah.
How did you choose? What provoked you to go from animation to fine art?
Well, it was really just a gut feeling. That's just kind of what I've learned in fine art, is to follow my gut feelings,
Yeah.
and I followed them with my animation too. Like if I had a scene where I was like, okay, what's this character going to do in this scene? Kind of had to feel it out and figure it out and act it out, and I kind of started feeling that with my own artwork, and I was like, I'm feeling this strong pull to do this fine art, and then I started getting group shows, and I started going to the LA Art Show in the convention center, and started meeting, galleries, and then I just started getting into some group shows, and I started showing in New York.
You're in Arcadia, right? And you've been
Arcadia in New York.
You've been there for a while.
Since 2011. Yeah.
Okay, that's a while.
And showing now a little bit, doing some stuff in LA with Maxwell Alexander, and
you have a show coming up here in LA.
yeah, tonight there's a group show.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And
tell people where that is, so they can come check it out.
it's on Washington Boulevard in Culver City, MaxwellAlexanderGallery.com.
What do you think about that area? Is that like the upcoming boom of LA art scene?
I think it's been there for quite a while.
I know, but it just seems like there's more and more energy in that.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
It's-
the whole Culver City art area is like
Which is great.
kind of pretty hip. Yeah,
Yay. That's
a
super
lot of stuff
exciting.
going on there.
Yeah.
Some other galleries.
Okay, Van Arno, what do you got? Who are you?
It's
Where
me
do you come
again.
from?
Well, you can learn all about me on the first PO Show.
You probably not everything. So you're a teacher at Noman.
I am. I'm a
figure
teacher.
and costume.
I'm a teacher at Noman for figure drawing and costume figure drawing.
Tell us where people can get your tutorial once they're
It's going to be
done.
online. I've done 2 of them, and none of them are out yet, but one should be out probably in a couple weeks. The Noman Workshop, which is spelled Gnomo.
Like a gnome, like a lawn gnome.
A gnome, it turns out, is the thing that sticks up on a sundial.
Yeah.
It took me years to learn that.
No, I knew that.
never knew
I
that.
actually I googled it because I Google everything, and that's what I found out too.
That's why you're so smart.
That's interesting. No. Not
Yeah,
smart.
but I'm very happy to be here with all these esteemed gentlemen, and
Okay, and where else do you work? You work for Hits Magazine. You're illustrator.
I do illustration. I do some online animation. It's flash animation. It's 2D. In the past, I worked for game companies, and I did 3D animation and 3D modeling and the interface. I did like almost every aspect that you could do for video games. This was around like PlayStation 1. This was like a while back.
Oh my gosh, are you that old?
I'm older than that even.
PlayStation? No. Okay, so what else was I going to say? And on the first episode of the PO Show, I asked you where you thought the art world was going, and you said 3D printing.
Yeah, I've really yet to see a fine art application of 3D printing, which is advanced so far, and after
So
I was,
fast,
and
so
so
far.
quickly, and in such quality. So it's gonna be pretty amazing, and I'm actually gonna kind of brush up on some 3D skills because I would like to get involved in doing some concept to big finite physical object.
It would be super cool to see some of
Sounds
your
great.
action figures like in 3D. Oh my gosh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, so that's
Danny.
something I'm going to be working toward. I figure by the time I get back to be having some 3D skills, 3D printing will be amazing.
That's great.
Okay, we're gonna see a John Mahoney video, so
Awesome.
you guys can check out some of his work. I looked up. I tell everybody, don't look up, but I looked up. We'll be right back. Enjoy this. Welcome back to the PO Show here in Hollywood, California, T Radio V. Okay, we're going to talk about 3D printing, right, John
Yes,
Mahoney?
yes, yes.
Because this is fascinating, and I am a total idiot when it comes to this subject. I know really not much about it, except that you can make anything, right? You can replicate anything. They use it in
they're
in
printing like human organs now.
Oh, that okay. We don't want to talk about that. And food. I saw food. That freaks me out. Can we not talk about those two things?
You can print. You can print a whole baby. They say now, like a little child, and you can.
I don't need any more children. Okay, let's talk about anything except organs.
A tiny edible baby.
Organs, edibles.
Anything
Actually, edibles
squishy.
is a good thing.
Okay. Well, besides that, any type of art that you have in your mind now you can print. So there's one way you can create something three-dimensional. You can have it 3D scanned, and then you can have that printed.
I have one question for you because I did. Let's see. You do ZBrush. How is that different or similar to 3D printing?
Well, ZBrush is great because you can.
That's how much I don't know.
Yeah. If you sculpt something in ZBrush, it's ready. It can be ready to be printed. Where if you sculpt it in real life, you have to scan it in, you have to clean it up, and so ZBrush, you have a virtual object. You turn it around, make sure it looks just as you want, then you can print it out.
And that is it in. Let's see. Where is it? Okay, so it stores lighting, color, material, and depth information. So you
Yes.
can do all of that.
Right. Well, it's basically like a virtual sculpture.
So it's a lot further than where. So when did this start?
Oh, it's been around forever.
Oh, it's been around forever.
But now, consumer people can actually buy a printer
Okay, I
now,
see.
reasonable price, and I have the Form 1 3D printer, and it's just the prints I get out of it are just gorgeous. I mean, beautiful stuff. So anything that you have in your mind, now you can press a button. Let's say you have a piece of fine art, you have this amazing sculpture, right? You could send someone a digital file to Italy.
Oh, and they can
Print it
they
out.
Can print it, yeah.
Or you can have
yeah.
40 galleries printed out at the same time all over the world. So it's going to revolutionize everything.
Everything.
Even
everything.
architecture.
And they made a car.
Yeah, you can print cars, you can
An
print
Audi.
buildings.
What is it? I actually have that here. It's an Audi. What is that car that they made? I threw that one away.
But they can print all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
They
so
made a car. They're making cars that way.
it's incredible. Imagine now little kids can create their own toys out of their imagination.
You can create your own family.
You can create your own family. There
And can
go.
you program
print
them
some
to be
babies?
really great?
So it's
That's
pretty
creepy.
exciting.
That's super creepy. Can you program them to be exactly like you want, like the Stepford Wives?
Well, that's the future. Who knows? We'll see.
That's what we're talking about, right?
Well, that'd be cool. That'd be cool.
Or not.
Or not.
Then
exactly.
their heads spin around and things start.
There was that movie Ex Machina. Did you see that about the
I just
female
heard of
robot?
that,
It's
yeah.
so good.
I just
Oh,
heard
really?
so
Yeah.
It's
really
it's
good.
a recent film, huh?
It's still in the theater. Yeah.
Oh, that's why I haven't seen it. I wait.
Wait to video.
DVD, I'm terrible.
Highly recommend. Highly
Oh,
recommend.
very cool. Nice to know. Okay, so where do you see the future with this in fine art, say, or in art, in the arts, say?
I think you can do things you can't do normally with you can create a sculpture within a sculpture within a sculpture. You can create things that unfold. You can create things that work and walk around and things like that. So people's imagination is going to be ignited once they get their hands on this. It's incredible.
Okay, kind of a similar thing. Have it right here. Dawood does digital drawing. I'm sure a lot of people do, but you tell us about that. Tell us about how that's kind of revolutionized your vision of art and how you use that. Because I was just reading about it. I mean, I know a little bit about it, but people have this opinion or thought or misconception, I guess is the right word, that digital drawing is that it's not really your art, that it's just like some reproduction, or some even think it's like a giclée. It's nothing like that. It's actually you're drawing on a pad. Okay, so tell us about that. So it's original art. It's just digital.
Yeah, when I first met John, I was drawing strictly in the computer because I was looking at a lot of concept art sites and I wanted to be a concept artist. But then John put me away from the computer and had me drawing more traditionally. And one thing I learned is that the computer is just a tool.
Yep.
So it is you drawing in the computer, but a lot of people tend to think that because you're drawing in the computer, it's going to come out so great, but that's not necessarily true. You still need to learn the fundamental
You still have to know
drawing
your
still.
stuff, yeah,
Yeah,
for
definitely.
sure.
So I wouldn't say, I think it's a great tool. You know, it's just like a paintbrush or a crayon or anything else. Just computer.
But you can save, you can delete, you can change, you can
Yes.
save a copy, you
Yes.
can move on to.
Typically, I try not to, do all the fancy undos and all that. Just draw straight up the same way I draw in traditional media, traditional meaning on regular paper and pencil and pen.
But then once it's in a technology type of form like that, can you do more with it? I mean, and in the future, will you be able to like make it a 3D or make it move or?
Yeah,
I'm just-
100%. I mean, the great thing about where we're at now is that we can create art that's archivable. Back in the day, you had to have some expensive paper so it could last 100 years.
Yeah,
Nowadays,
exactly.
Everything's digital. If you could do it on the computer, you could use it on any media. You could use it in video or whatever, and also print media as well.
So what do you think that does with the? Because I have a terrible opinion that at some point, fine art that you put on your wall maybe won't be so much. You'll still want it and see it, but it won't be like it is now. What is your thoughts about that? Because I've always had this, not always, but in the last few years, I've had this vision of more of a like a screen that you can change the vision that you want to see or whatever. Still fine art, but in a different kind of format. Do you see that happening?
I think it depends on the person's liking. I mean, you're going to have some people that perhaps have the screen on their wall with different images changing, but I don't think that the computer will ever replace traditional art.
So
There's
just
some
like-
fascination with the fact that someone's coming up with something and it's coming out of their hands, on traditional
It's
media.
kind of the way I think about books. I don't think books will
Yeah,
ever go away.
right.
I don't read off of an iPad. There's no way I can do that. I don't want to do that. I like a book. I mean, I write and I read and I study, and I like to have a book, a physical
Yeah,
book
same here.
that I can turn the pages.
Right.
So you don't think that's going to go away in fine art either, huh?
Well, I mean, it may
I
take
hope
it
not.
may
I
it
mean,
may
I
take
hope
a
not. I
back
don't
it may
want it.
take a back seat a little bit here or there, but I don't think it'll ever go away ultimately.
It also
It's one of a kind. It's a one of a kind object.
Yes.
thinking of all this and where art is going technologically. I was thinking about like graphic design, and this is totally just my opinion, but graphic design kind of it probably put a lot of artists out of work because all of a sudden, no, we'll just use this icon and we'll just use this easy image to say what we're going to say. But I always thought that at some point people were going to need that human element back, that actually artistry. So especially with what we're talking about here with the drawing on the board, don't you think that we've come kind of full circle and people are like, okay, we can have the best of both worlds, right? So probably graphic design per se is going to take a back seat, and maybe the artists have more of a say in the artistic process as far as the actual drawing on the pad.
Yeah, I wouldn't be the best one to really predict what's going to happen with that, but I could definitely say that there's just things that you can do with traditional media that is very hard to do in the computer. It's very hard to make something look real in the computer with paint strokes. There are artists who do a great job at it with Painter and things like that, but it's really hard to accomplish. There's more steps involved versus just smearing a paintbrush across the paper.
And usually, actually, when you're doing that, though, as a graphic designer, you're probably a pretty high-level graphic designer, too.
Yeah.
You probably have a lot of artistic ability,
Right.
right, to even go there. Okay. Let's see. What do we want to talk about now? We want to talk about more of this.
I think with the computer, the deadlines that people have nowadays, the computers speed things up so much that you can get so much
I
done
know.
quickly.
Yeah.
So I don't think the computer's ever going to go away in that sense.
Well, it's
but,
definitely not going to go away.
No.
I'm just
And-
trying to wrap my head around, which I'm sure a lot of the creative culture is trying to wrap their head around, where our future is with technology as artists. Well, in whatever capacity our art is, if you're in music or if you're in, a painter or whatever you do.
It's very interesting that you brought that up because the new movie Mad Max, the
Yeah.
Art of book,
You
is
watched
all
6
traditional
times.
art. I watched
7
it 6
yet?
times. Yeah, I'm going to make it to 10.
See, I
But
know
the
I know
concept
most
art-
everything about you that's online.
Right. The concept art in that book is all traditional work. It wasn't done in Photoshop like a lot of the other art
really?
of books. So, yeah, I think it depends on, who's working on the project and what the direction they want to go with it.
And I would say too, with the drawing, is that people appreciate things that are drawn and designed. And that particular film,
Oh, I totally agree.
yeah, that particular film it was drawn with an artist hand, as opposed to if you have like a lot of computer trickery and stuff like that. A lot of times the films kind of look similar, but this film looks completely different. So you have to always go back to the artist, go back to the sketchbook to actually
Hallelujah.
create new things. So
That makes me super happy.
yeah. So I think that's interesting. It's interesting.
Okay. I hope you don't mind, but I have a little clip of your drawing on the pad.
Cool.
I kind of had it was about 4 minutes long or whatever,
Okay.
over 4 minutes, so I had to shrink it to 2 minutes. So
All right.
you guys will like this.
Sounds
Check
good.
it out.
Great.
Welcome back to the PO Show here in Hollywood, California. Okay, we're going to spend a little bit of time with Danny Galieote. Now, like we were talking about earlier, he was an animator forever, and but he kind of spends most of his time in fine art now, as an American scene painter, which is super cool. So tell us about, first of all, that particular topic and why you're drawn to that. It's super great. I think Van will like that because you like the old movies, right? You like the 30s and 40s.
No, that's a style of work I really can relate to. I love that sort of thing.
I've always been attracted to the 30s, 40s, 50s, and I think a lot of it was from my grandparents growing up and being around them a lot. They would always tell me stories. My grandfather was, my mom's dad was in, near Pearl Harbor in 1940, and he got out of there in time. And but my other grandfather was, involved in stuff in the 40s, and he was actually his clothing store was here on Hollywood Boulevard in 1940s.
How
and
funny is that?
he would always tell me
How
stories
cool.
of after the war and all the, the sailors and the actresses and everybody like kissing and hugging, everybody's happy, that kind of Americana.
Yeah.
And I always had this attraction toward it. And he had movies that he shot in the 30s and 40s, like little handheld,
Oh, how cool.
stuff he did on, I guess, would it be 16 millimeter?
So
or
you
just
have
like-
you have
Maybe.
that?
I had it, and I had it transferred to DVD
Oh
for
my
myself.
gosh, that is so cool.
Like Venice Beach in the
Oh,
30s
wow.
with like, malts 25 cents and the guys jumping on doing the acrobatics and the
So
beauty
you
pageants.
got a
and-
lot of inspiration for your paintings from that, because I know, that's not
Yeah.
really what you're doing now, but you did do a lot of those kind of scenes.
It's still in
The
me, though.
Venice-
Yeah,
yeah.
it's still in me, and I started with that, and so I was at first when I started doing the American scene stuff, I started
Yeah.
doing beach scenes
Yeah.
because I was really into Reginald Marsh. I'm sure you guys have heard Reginald Marsh.
Sure. And Paul Cadmus. It looks a lot like Paul Cadmus.
I love Paul Cadmus's work. George Tooker, and you know that work project WPA, it's called administration. That during that period in the 30s. There's just there's a vibe about that work that I really like, and I kind of wanted to get that into my work. And I studied a lot of the traditional illustrators, you know, Rockwell, Leyendecker a lot, and loved George Bellows and a lot of those artists. Studied them a lot. Did copies of them. I learned a lot. I think I learned most of my work is from copying the masters.
Yeah, that's the best way to learn. Yeah,
That's great.
You know, and that's what I teach too when I teach. Yeah.
And what you said, and I think this was on your website, that your aim is not pure nostalgia, but rather in pursuit of universal, timeless themes of human nature. It's super cool. And you kind of, I don't know. I know when I see that, though, that's definitely not my era, because I would be 90 years old or whatever.
Yeah, it's not my era.
But I think it's something really personable. I think any human can relate to it in some sense. It is kind of this feeling of family and togetherness and American.
Well, I kind of think about humans are all one.
Yeah.
So I like the feeling of we can all relate to it. We can all relate to it somehow. We all have the same feelings. We all have the innate same kind of needs and feelings. And I was also influenced by, you guys have probably heard of Joseph Campbell, A Hero of a Thousand Faces. I really love, you know, that kind of
journey,
hero's journey. Yeah, I love that. So I kind of was thinking about those kind of teachings, and when I started doing my work and just trying to feel, you know, human nature in general. So.
Okay, but you tweaked this just a little bit, which is kind of super cool.
Yeah.
So Danny's recent series deals with people's secret thoughts. Those thought but not acted upon. So he deals with his Bad Girl series with concealed brass knuckles, frying pans, candlesticks.
Yeah, I started doing that, I guess about a couple of years ago. I started working on the Bad Girl series. And
you still have that same 30s, 40s kind of thing going on.
Yeah, I wanted the film noir look.
With the brass
basically,
knuckles.
film noir. You know, I was watching a lot of like the Orson Welles, and I studied a lot of them when I was at Disney as an animator. I studied a lot of Orson Welles and the, you know, Magnificent Ambersons and the, you know, a lot of those films that I can't think
Touch of Evil.
Huh?
Touch of Evil.
Touch of Evil.
Yeah.
And
yeah, come on, Dan. You know the
Citizen
stuff.
Kane. Yeah, the
Lady
the
from
film
Shanghai.
Yeah, so I studied that a lot, and I wanted to get that feeling in the painting. So I was thinking about how can I have a modern feel with that kind of inspiration. So I started thinking about, okay, I like these girls with these, I like, you know, the leather skirt and the lace blouse, and what can I add to it? Oh, with the brass knuckles, we've thought of that. So I had to go get some brass knuckles somewhere. Got some brass knuckles, which I'm not supposed to do.
We're not going to ask where those came from. Shh.
And but that was good reference. So I used, they got, you know.
You used them?
As reference, you know, photo references, and I use them a lot in my photo reference for those paintings. And
so where do you see you going from here? Do you have any interest in 3D printing?
Actually, that's a funny
No, I'm just curious because you kind of went. I don't know. It's not that you went backwards, but you chose where you wanted to go. You want to be in fine art. This is where you want to be, and you're totally capable of that for sure. And so I'm just curious.
Following
do you have any
passions. Following your passions is what I believe in, and following what you really, what you feel in your gut is what you want to do. And that's kind of what I, ever since, you know, working at Disney and stuff, I always kind of always encourage people when I'm teaching is to follow your bliss, follow your, like Joseph Campbell, follow your gut feelings, what you really want to do, and don't be afraid to go after it.
And that's all that's all that there is. There's nothing else. You have to do that.
I mean, we live
that's
once.
That
We gotta go for it. You know, you gotta just do whatever you gotta do.
Hear that, all you creatives out there? You gotta just go for it.
Do whatever you gotta do to make it happen.
Yeah.
You know, if you gotta, you know, work at night, I had to work 3 jobs.
I think everybody in this room agrees, right? John Mahoney, when you were at T Radio V before, you said, well, I did this and this and this, and I just thought one day I wanted to work for Lucasfilm, and you did, right?
Yeah, definitely.
This is like, okay, done, check.
Well, even lately, too, like a month ago, it just popped into my head I wanted to do a 2D film, which I didn't think I would because it takes so much work. But I just like I want to do a 2D film.
We didn't
so-
even talk about your film work because you did some short animation films, right? When you were here before.
Yes, I did. I got into some festivals and things like that. It took so much work. I was just like, oh, I'm never going to do that.
So
and
you haven't done it again?
No. So
Oh,
I've gotten
sense.
into live action, but lately, the past month, I've hired about 6 animators, and we're working on a short right now, which I'm really excited about. So it's like, you just kind of go on these waves, and if something grabs you, it might be a little overwhelming to do it, but you can hire some people to help you out and just
Yeah.
kind of just do it, you know?
And I know you would do. You do. Sorry. You do like commercials and different promo kind of video kind of stuff
promo
too, as
videos
well?
for
Yeah.
different small businesses. I would go in and film their video for their website and things like that.
I think we're going to get cut off to a break here.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying, Jake? Jake is our tech man. Yay, Jake!
Right.
Okay, so what we're going to see now for this little short break is Danny Galieote's video. So check it out. We'll be right back. Jake, that's totally cool. Okay, we're back. Was not that amazing? Do you see?
You paint
Danny's-
a lot of patterns. I was noticing that. You do a lot
Oh,
of
I
patterns.
know. Isn't that
fabric.
incredible?
You know what I love about that is like
Oh, I hate that stuff. Oh, I hate the repetition kind of background. I hate that, right? Oh, God, I hate painting that way.
Patterning?
Yes, I hate it.
doing it. It's time consuming.
Do you
But
like it, though?
You know what? I like the final result more than the actual
Okay.
process. But, I
So
was
you're
looking
not
at-
lazy like me. So I don't like to
Kind of
do
get in
it.
a zone.
What,
And,
what I found, if it's not wallpapered flat, if it's on a body, or if it's on fabric, like it wraps around something,
Mhm.
like you can do
You
it
can tweak
kind
it
of
easier.
poorly, and it looks pretty good.
Okay.
Like it's kind of forgiving.
it
like,
adds a lot of three-dimensionality to
Yeah.
the work.
You're
and-
kind of a fan of text, too, aren't you, Van?
yeah, that's
Orno?
super boring.
Super boring, but
Painting-
super worth it.
Painting text is super boring.
So you actually have a painting right now at
At Corey Helford Gallery, that's right, in Culver City, in
And-
Hoppin' Culver City.
Hoppin' Culver City.
Yeah,
That is where the light is amazing.
that's true. Every
On
time we
that
go there,
street.
the sun goes down.
And it's not just the liquor stores, though they're always in my photos, but it's crazy lighting. It's like the night. Does anybody
On
notice
Washington?
that?
Yeah.
Is it weird?
It's got a definite vibe.
It's like this.
feeling of it,
I'm
the
talking about
lighting.
like the visual light is like
Mm.
ethereal, weird, dramatic.
Something going on there.
No.
Something's going on that street.
We saw
I'm telling you.
like 2 different completely wild sunsets, and we're like, why is the sky bright red? Why is the sky bright red now?
It's so bizarre. Okay. So anyway, what were we saying? Okay. Danny has recently been involved in a film, Leaves of Eden, which is really interesting because fine art artist, gone rogue. No, no.
A little bit
so
rogue.
Tell us a little bit about this. What I found interesting in checking into this film is that not only are there some well-known actors in there, but there's also people from Disney, from Nickelodeon, from Pixar, all involved in this film.
Yeah, I think when a project comes along like this, where it's building, they're getting the funds, and they're kind of, everybody's working on it. They're all coming together. My old office mate from Disney, Adam Dykstra, he's directing it, and there's some pretty big names. Like I can say one of the names is Barry Corbin is being involved with it, and he's a big actor, and he's excited about being involved with this. And I just have a small part. I'm going to be one of the paramedics in the film, but I'm excited about being involved with it, and it's a really strong message in the film. It's going to be a dramatic thriller, and they're planning to start filming in the fall or in early next spring.
Jake, can we go ahead and run that trailer? Check it out.
Hi, my name's Adam Dykstra, and I'm the director of The Leaves of Eden. Well, when I was first approached to direct this film by our executive producer, Louise Luster, I wasn't sure what to expect. And then I got the script from Steve Bertel, and I couldn't believe what an amazingly powerful story he wrote. The Leaves of Eden is about 2 grown children who travel back to the family farm for their father's 70th birthday, only to discover that their father is dying of cancer. Once back in their childhood surroundings, they are suddenly haunted by these dark memories that propel the story into an explosive climax. It's a very well-written script that deals with important issues, and after reading the story, we decided this has got to be made into a movie.
This is a family that's dealing with so many of the issues that we all deal with on some level, either in our own families or families that we know. Issues like abuse, mental health issues, medical issues, and there's so many layers of family dynamics here that are so important to talk about and to get out there for people in order to normalize it in our society.
We cast Barry Corbin as our lead, Eldon the farmer. I've been a big fan of Barry's over the years. He's done so much work in television and in feature films. And we cast Johnny Dark as Dr. Bramfield. He's an amazing talent, and he brings a different edge to his characters. He's a comedian, an actor, a musician, and he's done work throughout history in TV and in features.
My name is Johnny Dark, and I am an actor. And I'm thrilled to have been cast as Dr. Bramfield in the new motion picture Leaves of Eden.
We cast TJ Johnson as Shane. TJ is an amazing actor, an accomplished actor who brings seriousness and appeal to his characters.
What was this all for? If this was your operation, people died! John died!
Death was always the cost for the Veil's agenda, Harper.
I'm TJ Johnson. I'm going to be playing Shane.
Hi, my name is Molly Dykstra, and I play the part of Angela on Leaves of Eden.
Hi, I'm Sean Schaefer Hennessy, and I am the composer for The Leaves of Eden.
Hi, my name is Danny Galieote. I'm a former Disney animator on a dozen movies, and now full-time painter and artist.
My name is Peter DeLuca. I work in the animation industry, and currently I'm working for a studio called Nickelodeon.
Hi, my name is Greg Dykstra. I started in visual effects and moved into character sculpture and design. And that's what I've been doing for Pixar Animation Studios for the last 15 years.
Steve Bertel has managed to write a script that, through use of story and dialogue, takes a highly uncomfortable subject and handles it with such authenticity and beauty that you feel yourself lost in the story.
I think it's going to be an important film. The subject matter should be talked about, even though a lot of people don't want to go there. but we should go there, and this film does.
The Leaves of Eden is a phenomenal story of a family going through turmoil and trying to come out the other side better.
When I was first cast for a part in this film, I was really excited. And then I read the script and I was even more excited. It's this amazing thriller. I couldn't wait to see what was going to happen at the end.
The characters in the setting kind of live in this veneer of normalcy. But pretty soon, you start to get glimpses of memories and emotions that start to weave a much more complex, darker tale.
Oh, I picked up the script, I started reading, and I'm like, okay, I can't put this thing down. Then it was like, I know I have a time limit. That was during my lunch hour, and I'm like, man, I'm on page 51, and I don't want to put it down.
I'm thrilled mostly because I get to work with Adam Dykstra, the director. I've worked with him before, and he's a great director, and he has an actor's eye, simply because he's an actor as well.
And he never underestimates the power of a performance to bring out all the wonderful subtext that's in a script like The Leaves of Eden. I know he's going to make a great film that we feel deeply. The kind of film that you'll be thinking about long after the credits roll.
Okay, we're back. What do you think of that? Okay, so tell us a little more, like what we were talking about on break, like the bringing of all those, not bringing, just the grouping of all those people together to have a voice together and make a change. They're all from different
It's
places.
As artists, you know, we all have a vision. We have things that we have in mind that we think can maybe happen, and you bring these people together. If you come together as a team, you can get a lot, better chance to make things happen. So.
And we always on the show talk about collaboration, especially with the creative culture. It's us working together that's going to make the difference. It's going to elevate. That's why I have all these people on the show. It's elevating the cause, which is all about creativity. Okay, and where can we find out what you're doing, Danny?
On my own work, I could do my website, DannyGalieote.com.
How do you spell that?
DANNY, and then my last name is GALIEOTE.
It's the coolest spelling ever. Where does that
name
come
come
from?
My grandfather, when he had the clothing store on Hollywood Boulevard, he changed it from, the story is, it was GALEOTTI, Galieote, to the way it is now.
So it's just a different spelling.
It's just a little different spelling.
It's super cool. I love the 3 vowels in a row. I just love
I don't know.
And you know what? I don't think I ever misspell it. It just comes kind of naturally.
I get different comments at like restaurants. They'll be like, caliente party of 3, please.
Caliente.
But I don't know where that comes from. The I and the N and the O look similar. I don't know. But.
Okay, Dawood, where can they find you? Do you remember your website?
Yes.
Oh my God, not me.
It is DawoodMarion.com.
Okay, spell it.
That's DAWOODMARION.com.
Okay, check it out. And John Mahoney.
Yes, I've been studying right here. Okay. It's Mahoney Art at carbonmade.com. Very simple.
VanArno.com.
That's pretty much it. You can find me at vanarno.com, VANARNO, and you can email me there, and you can follow me on Instagram.
And it's bright pink. Okay, and one more thing. Not yet. We have to show this. Can you?
I brought
Is
my
there? Yes, this is your. Okay, tell us about it.
This is a kit bash. Shows little bits and pieces of toys from Barbies and stuff like that. And it's kind of like it was done before Mad Max, but it's very Mad Max influence. So. Just love playing with toys. Love Barbies.
And the paint treatment is really
He's a Barbie player.
Thank you. So anyway, there it is. And we're going to see Mad Max right after the show. So.
Oh, you're going to see it for the 7th time?
7th time, yes.
Oh my God, that's so
Everyone
cool.
run out and see Mad Max.
Okay, yeah, check it out.
Beautiful.
We'll see you next week on the PO Show here in Hollywood, California.
Yay.
Thank you.
Cheers.
All right. Cheers.
Clink, clink.
Clinkety, clinkety.
You are watching T-Radio. You are watching T-Radio V. Radio and TV.